Growers have been implementing several irrigation strategies and irrigation management options during the drought. Firstly, they've been implementing a strategy we call regulated deficit irrigation. That's all about applying water deficits during the season, cutting back on irrigation while still maintaining productivity. Growers have also been looking at cutting back on irrigation post-harvest. In other cases, growers have been improving irrigation management, irrigation scheduling in other words, by installing soil moisture sensors. Growers have also been using a water budgeting tool, and that tool's all about giving them a guide as to how much irrigation they might need during the season. That helps them, of course, in terms of purchasing water, but also in actually the total amount of irrigation that they require. There's several tools that can be used to maximise water use efficiency. Probably the most important one is to actually do some monitoring of soil moisture. And a lot of growers have installed soil moisture sensors in the last few years, and that's really helped them to guide them as to how much water they need to apply and when to apply that water. There are other tools too that growers can use. There's things like meteorological data, the use of what's called reference crop evapotranspiration, which is readily available through the internet. They can use that to actually determine how much water they need to apply.
Irrigation system management can be implemented by adopting good irrigation practices. Knowing what your system's doing down to the fine detail of individual emitters.
System testing and performance of an irrigation system is really critical, and it's all about testing to see whether it's delivering the right amount of water as per its design. So what growers can actually do is monitor how much water is coming out at strategic points within the system. They can measure the pressure as well, and if that's not according to the design, then there can be several things that growers can do to improve it, to make sure that the right amount of water is applied according to its original design.
Yes, I have seen many growers across the region using a number of different techniques to help them combat the drought conditions. They can be ranging from just increasing their day-to-day monitoring, for instance, going out and just using a dig stick and checking their soil more often, right up to installing new irrigation systems, converting from flood or overhead down to dripper systems, installing other gadgets that can monitor soil moisture, such as EnviroScans and tensiometers, and even using various water budgeting tools, which are kind of like financial business tools, but only for water, and they really help you predict on a daily basis when to put that water on and how much water to put on.
So DPI's developed a budgeting tool, and that tool is a season-long irrigation requirement broken down into month by month, so a grower can actually determine how much water he needs for each month, and therefore how much irrigation he might have to purchase. Subsurface drip irrigation is about burying the irrigation system below ground and delivering the water to the root systems of the trees. Theoretically, it should reduce the amount of soil surface evaporation that's occurring, and therefore there'll be a water saving associated with that.
In terms of horticulture, subsurface irrigation started with tomatoes. Still seeing a lot of people thinking about it and not entering it, but I think it's at its forefront in Victoria. There are lots of benefits with it in terms of weed control, because the water's being applied underground. There's not a chance for grass weeds to establish, and then they are then not using up some of that valuable water that we're putting on. It also encourages deeper rooting of the plants. I can see in the future that subsurface drip is going to be used more widely. It's a little bit underutilised at the moment. It's not new technology, but not widely adapted. People are a little bit nervous, particularly in the horticulture industry. I think people are just starting to sort of realise its potential and head towards that way.
If you want to know more about this program, contact your Industry Grower Association or the DPI Customer Service Line 136 186.